Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic for anyone who wants to make informed choices about their produce. Which fruits and vegetables have the highest and lowest levels of pesticide residues? Let's get started. First up, let's talk about the Clean 15. These are the fruits and vegetables with the lowest levels of pesticide residues. If you're looking to reduce pesticide exposure without going fully organic, these are your best options. These foods tend to have thick skins or natural defenses that protect them from pests, meaning they require fewer chemical treatments. Incorporating them into your diet can help you eat healthier and more naturally, without the higher cost of organic produce. Number 1 is avocados. Less than 1% of avocados tested showed any pesticide residues. This extremely low level of contamination is largely attributed to their thick protective skin, which serves as an effective barrier against pesticides. This natural shield helps keep the inner fruit free from chemical residues, making avocados one of the cleanest options available. Next is sweet corn. Only 2% of sweet corn samples showed detectable pesticide residues, making it a relatively safe choice for your next meal. This low level of pesticide contamination is due to the nature of sweet corn and its cultivation practices. Whether you're enjoying fresh corn on the cob or frozen kernels, you can feel more confident about its safety and quality. Third, we have pineapples. A remarkable 90% of pineapples tested had no detectable pesticide residues. This is largely due to their thick, tough skin, which acts as a natural barrier protecting the fruit from pesticide contamination. This protective layer ensures that the pineapple's flesh remains largely unaffected by the chemicals used in farming. Onions come in fourth on our list, with less than 10% showing pesticide residues. This relatively low level of pesticide contamination is partly due to the testing process, which involves removing the outer layers of the onion. This practice helps to minimize exposure, as most pesticides are concentrated on the outer layers rather than the inner, edible parts. For the fifth, papayas. Around 80% of papayas tested had no residues. The skin helps shield the flesh from pesticides. Sixth is asparagus. Approximately 90% of asparagus samples had no measurable pesticide residues. This is partly because asparagus contains an enzyme that may help break down certain pesticides. This natural feature contributes to its lower pesticide levels, making it a safer choice for those concerned about chemical exposure. Cantaloupes come in seventh on our list. Over 60% of cantaloupes tested had no detectable pesticide residues, thanks to their thick rind, which acts as a natural barrier. This protective layer helps shield the fruit's flesh from pesticide contamination, making cantaloupes a relatively safe choice among non-organic options. Eighth on the list is cabbage. Approximately 86% of cabbage samples had no detectable pesticide residues. Among those that did have residues, very few contained more than one type of pesticide. This means that cabbage is relatively low in pesticide contamination, making it a safer choice among non-organic vegetables. Ninth, mushrooms. Although mushrooms are often grown indoors and can be susceptible to pests and diseases, they still have some of the lowest pesticide residues among produce items. Despite their potential exposure to various contaminants, the controlled indoor growing conditions and careful management practices help keep pesticide levels relatively low. This makes mushrooms a safer choice compared to many other vegetables. 10th is mangoes. Nearly 80% of mangoes tested showed no detectable pesticide residues. These fruits were tested with the peel still on, which adds an extra layer of safety by accounting for any potential residues that might be present on the skin. The peel helps protect the fruit's flesh from pesticide contamination, making mangoes a relatively clean choice. 11th are sweet peas, frozen. About 80% of frozen sweet pea samples were free from detectable pesticide residues. This makes them a relatively safe option. However, it's important to note that snap peas, which are typically eaten whole, tend to have higher levels of pesticide residues compared to frozen sweet peas. So, if you're concerned about pesticide exposure, opting for frozen sweet peas might be a better choice. 12 is watermelon. The thick rind of a watermelon acts as a natural barrier, effectively shielding the pink flesh from pesticide contamination. This protective layer ensures that the inner fruit remains relatively free from residues, making watermelon a safer choice compared to many other fruits. So you can enjoy its juicy sweetness with added confidence in its cleanliness. 13 are honeydew melons. Approximately 50% of honeydew melons tested had no detectable pesticide residues. The thick rind of the honeydew melon provides a natural protective barrier, helping to keep the inner fruit free from chemical contaminants. This rind significantly reduces the risk of pesticide residues reaching the flesh, making honeydew a relatively safer choice among fruits. 14th are sweet potatoes. These vegetables are known for their low levels of pesticide residues, making them a healthy choice for your diet. Sweet potatoes are naturally resistant to many pests and diseases, which means they require fewer pesticides compared to other crops. Their low pesticide traces contribute to their status as a nutritious and clean option, allowing you to enjoy their health benefits with peace of mind. And finally, kiwis. About 65% of kiwis tested had no measurable pesticide residues, which is quite reassuring. However, it's worth noting that some samples did show traces of up to 6 different types of pesticides. Despite this, the majority of kiwis remain relatively clean, making them a good choice if you're looking to minimize pesticide exposure while enjoying their tangy flavor and nutritional benefits. Now let's take a look at the dirty dozen. The fruits and vegetables that tend to have the highest levels of pesticide residues. These items are often more vulnerable to pests and diseases, leading to heavier pesticide use during cultivation. If reducing your exposure to these chemicals is a priority, opting for organic versions of these foods can be a smart choice. By choosing organic for these particular fruits and vegetables, you can significantly lower the amount of pesticides you consume, making a positive impact on your overall health. First on the list are strawberries. These fruits are among the most pesticide treated due to their vulnerability to numerous pests and pathogens. Strawberries are prone to attacks from insects, fungi, and other threats, which necessitates frequent pesticide applications to ensure a successful harvest. This extensive use of chemicals is why strawberries often have higher pesticide residues compared to other fruits. If you're concerned about pesticide exposure, opting for organic strawberries can be a better choice. Second is kale. This leafy green vegetable is heavily treated with pesticides due to its susceptibility to various pests and fungal issues. Kale's dense, curly leaves provide a perfect habitat for insects and can also attract fungal infections, leading farmers to use strong chemicals to keep it protected. The high pesticide levels on conventionally grown kale are a result of these frequent treatments. For those concerned about pesticide exposure, choosing organic kale can help reduce the risk. Third is celery. Over 95% of celery samples have pesticide residues, with up to 13 different types detected. Celery's susceptibility to pests means it's frequently treated with pesticides, leading to higher residue levels. Choosing organic celery can help reduce your exposure. Fourth is peaches. Despite their thick skin, they are heavily sprayed to combat pests and diseases. The high pesticide use is due to their vulnerability to insects and fungi, making organic peaches a better choice for reducing exposure. Fifth are apples. Apples require significant pesticide use due to pests and diseases. While some growers are adopting better practices to reduce this, choosing organic apples can help minimize exposure to these chemicals. Sixth is spinach. This leafy green is particularly susceptible to pests, which often leads to unseen pesticide residues. Despite washing, the high pesticide use on spinach can still leave traces on the leaves, making it a good candidate for organic choices if you're concerned about chemical exposure. Seventh are tomatoes. They can have up to 4 different pesticide residues, with some samples containing over 15 types. This high level of treatment is due to the pests and diseases that affect them. Choosing organic tomatoes can help reduce pesticide exposure. 8th are nectarines. These delicate fruits often receive heavy pesticide treatment to combat pests and fungal infections. Their thin skin provides less natural protection, making them more susceptible to pesticide use. Opting for organic nectarines can help reduce your exposure to these chemicals. 9th are cherries. They are particularly vulnerable to a range of pests, which necessitates extensive pesticide use to protect the fruit. This high level of treatment helps manage infestations but can result in significant pesticide residues. Choosing organic cherries can help minimize your exposure to these chemicals. 10th are grapes. They're known for having high pesticide residues, with some samples testing positive for over 122 different chemicals. This makes grapes a top candidate for organic purchasing to minimize exposure to these residues. 11th are bell peppers and hot peppers. These vegetables are often heavily sprayed to manage pests and diseases. The high pesticide use is necessary due to their vulnerability, making organic options a better choice if you want to reduce pesticide exposure. And finally, pears. Much like apples, pears attract a variety of pests, leading to extensive pesticide use. The high pesticide levels are used to protect the fruit from these threats, making organic pears a preferable option for those looking to minimize their pesticide intake. To wrap up, choosing the Clean 15 can be a simple yet effective way to reduce your pesticide exposure without always needing to buy organic. These fruits and vegetables naturally have lower levels of pesticide residues, often due to their thicker skins or natural defenses against pests. By prioritizing these items, you can enjoy fresh, healthy produce with greater peace of mind, all while potentially saving money by not always needing to opt for organic options. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Leave a comment below on which produce you're most concerned about, and share this video with friends and family who might benefit from this information. Click the link in the description for our top recommended food supplements. Don't wait, improve your wellness today.